All right, so in previous episodes, we've already done a pile of work. In this episode, we're gonna work on the cab. We're gonna focus on making the firewall fit around the engine, making sure that we can mount our master for our clutch and our brake. And we have a brake system for it, but it doesn't allow for a clutch. So we have to customize our custom parts and make sure that it works when we're done. Here we go. We got a stroker kit from SCAT and AFR heads shipped to Canada, where we will send them to Northtown to get assembled on our 6.2, ship the engine back to California, put it in our project vehicle, then drive it back home again.
So I'm gonna go scan this right now and then come back with some plates.
So once we do that, we can figure out our stance.
Look what I did! Look what I did!
So this is my idea of a CAD drawing. Now we have the only clutch brake assembly for a 55. It's fine to plunk an engine in there and call it installed, but all the finicky work, it takes forever. A week and a half of solid work here. Okay, so for the brakes and the steering, we need to get rid of this. Our issue is that our steering is okay, but our brakes are not, because we welded the Camaro front end. The whole pivot is gone in the frame, so we can't use the floor pedal. So we got a brake relocate kit, which will put the brake master off to the side a bit. So we use this bracket, and basically the master clears our engine. The issue is that it does not come with a clutch, so we have to adapt this to utilize a clutch pedal as well. We'll mount the clutch master and the brake master on the firewall there, and the flexible hose to come to our transmission here. Avoid the engine, and then we've got our new sheet metal for the firewall. Here we go.
For some reason they used the thickest slot ever for this bolt, so we're just gonna use a grinder.
First things first, we just gotta get rid of this old bracket, and you see I cut it there, so not a big problem. I knew that was fine because we're actually gonna move off to the side, so we're gonna make this look really, really good. Also it's bolted here and on one side and spot welded on the other, so it's gonna be a little tricky, but we'll get her. We'll get her. Yeah, I was hoping to mount some spot welds, but that didn't work. They're on there good. Now I gotta fix that hole. That sucks. These spot welds are not like the Bronco, where they just come out. Shit, that's a real pain. So this mount just goes where the old one did. Now we can drill some new holes, figure out where the master is gonna go for the brake, and then we can figure out how to do our clutch pedal. We found tube that goes inside this tube. That should help. And then basically we're gonna try and get the clutch to go right about here, if that still clears everything in the engine bay. mouth right around here, right?
Yeah.
I gotta try and find a hole saw.
I can't drill through tin. Frustrating.
That's not even the right hole. There we go. Now the steering will get attached to this. I can see the steering box nicely right through here. So hopefully we can't get the header in on this side. Just the way it fits, so we have to put the header in before we drop the engine in. But we're trying to figure out all our spacing and welding all this without the engine in it. We just got to figure out exactly what we're doing and the heights on everything. So I think as long as we keep it like super close to the frame, I can't see an issue. We'll put the other headers on that side and see what they kind of look like, but I'm sure we've got enough space for our steering, so that's good. We should be good to weld or drill this hole and stick our brake master on the other side. Gotta let the air build up. We didn't have the right, it was 2.5, we had 2 1/4, but at least, not because my hole wasn't perfectly centered, I could make the hole perfectly centered now. And then my clutch pedal is gonna come down like this, go around and down, and then when you step on it, this bracket will now support the clutch pedal and be able to spin, and then I got to make another little bracket here to go onto the firewall or something.
Okay, maybe I'll just clean the hell out of this.
Yeah, sandpaper, and then it's because of the paint inside there. Somehow, if they have a brush or like a wire brush you can stick on a drill and just stick in there.
Yeah, okay. So we need to fix the whole clutch assembly, get it mounted to something. Rich found this laying on the ground out here. You can tell it's super, super, super rusty for California. So just with the paint in here, we just got to clear that out and just give that a little shot with sandpaper, and hopefully that'll slide right in and be able to rotate on it. See what we can do.
Really good at that, Andy.
Give me a second, I'll be done. Just a minute.
So, when you do get these, they're cast. So if you don't paint them, they get rusty. And who wants like a rusty truck, honestly? A little bit, Tina would. And if you don't get it, that's a joke because we've got an extremely rusty truck. But underneath the hood, we want to keep pretty, so we're just gonna splash some Rust-Oleum paint on there, match the frame. Everything will be color matched. It'll be amazing. Can't find any tape. This will be. Stick that in the drill.
Yeah.
Turn around in the drill.
Mm-hmm. All right. Deal. It's an old trick.
An old trick that I just thought of right now. I've never seen this before because just got to clean the inside of that out a little bit. I want to kind of make it big, but if you stick the sandpaper in the chuck and I just have to. Oh, I ripped the sandpaper. I got too aggressive, but that's the idea.
Just.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like it. Went with the burrito method. Oh man. It's a brand new tool. Yeah. Oh, Rich. That perfect?
That's perfect. You lube that up and it'll slide just so nice.
Wow. That is like an accurate measurement. That's a C hair.
Nice. Wow, that's perfect. Nice.
That is sweet.
Yeah, so now the bolt can still go right through, right? So you get a bolt. I need a longer bolt, but then we weld the eyelet around it and then bend it and put the other pedal right beside it.
Gotcha.
So that'll push on the brake, and then right here it'll push on the clutch.
Good find on that perfectly sized bar.
Manuel, I'm like, Manuel, I need a pipe like this. He's like, I got one that goes over. I'm like, no, because if it was over, we would just get this little bit of pivot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got one that's the same size. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work either. He's like, what about this? I'm like, yeah, that's it. So now we can talk to brothers and tell them how to make a clutch pedal assembly for the 55 too. I called everybody. I'm like, I need a clutch pedal and a brake pedal, relocate kit for a 55. No.
So basically, this is the part that makes it a kit.
Yeah, and a pedal. You got to buy another pedal or make another pedal.
Oh, gotcha.
But
this nearly makes it a complete kit.
That's a complete kit now.
Yeah.
Without it's missing some parts, but it's a complete kit.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
So Manuel's gone, and he took his laptop. Probably doesn't trust me with a lot of stuff, but probably not his laptop to start screwing around with the CNC. But we're gonna just leave a template or give him some instructions. And hey, we'll copy this pedal, more or less, and have it come here. The only thing is, it's got to be a bit longer because it has to come closer and then down. So I'll let him know. But then. And then he can make this bracket, just cut it out on the CNC, and then we'll have the brake and the clutch master mounted, not interfering with each other, not interfering with the sheet metal, so we don't know exactly where that is, but we'll mount this underneath, mount the master up, and then we can figure out where we can do the master for the clutch, and then make sure that we have all the fittings to go down into the clutch. And then once we have kind of everything, then we can start taking stuff apart again and do final assembly. So.
Rougher in.
So nice. Okay, so now we just need to drill a hole that this pipe will now fit through, because this pipe will look like this now. So I need to drill a hole out. Except I got a whole bunch of burnt out whole step bits. We might have to run to town and grab something because this is not working so well for me. See, problem is when you burn the hole out on these holes, these are still new, but you gotta fight your way through the dull ones. So maybe between the two bits I can work my way down. See you in like 20 minutes. Sorry guys, I let the smoke out of here a bit. Oh, I gotta go one more. I might have to ream that because I don't think that might be too big. that will slide inside of that other pedal, like so. I do need the bolt, but our bolt isn't long enough. And the point is the bolt comes out through here, and I might make another bracket to go to the side, but that's awesome. And then this is able to spin inside that. That's a beauty, eh? Nice. We just need some grease in there, but I'll grease it after we're done because I don't want a big giant sloppy mess the whole time. Okay, so we're gonna slide this through. This is a spacer plate, and it's actually notched for the rib right here. So this will sit just like that and go around this rib. So that should work out pretty good. Andy, can you go inside and that black bracket, lift it so the holes line up? You can see what I mean. Jam her up in there. That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, it fits great.
Not bad, eh? What really sets it apart is that black paint.
Yeah.
That's mainly so I just don't lose the stuff. Oh yeah. Got a brake pedal. No clutch. And that's pretty sturdy. I'm pretty happy with it. And the problem is the firewalls were never meant to have all this pressure put on it. So we gotta have something sturdy. It's a nice heavy bracket. I don't know if we need to really even beef it up going to the side or if that's enough, but yeah, that's pretty sick. So let's grab our Willwood kit. We're gonna see grab the clutch master and see where a good spot for that would be. Okay, so I have no idea how to make the master work, so I just bought this combination kit. Let's do remote canister, or right on top canister, or remote canister. I think we can make this work. We'll probably make it work. Now I just got to figure out, ideally, it would look sick right here. And you see the paint where my fender goes, so I have just enough room, like right here, to pop that thing and not get in the way of that. So we'll, yeah, as long as we can get our brake, yeah, I think right there. We really don't have many more options. It's got to go like right there. Basically in the middle, slightly over, and we can go up and down. That doesn't matter. But let's see where that ends up. Okay, so in between the three holes, slightly off center right here, this is where we have to be. And that is perfectly okay, because what we're gonna do is basically come down here, but because my clutch pedal's gotta come over this way, we'll split the difference. We'll actually brace it. When the angle's coming down this way, we'll actually put a brace in between there, and that can actually support the push rod on the clutch. So if we go the same height as the master and do the same kind of linkage pivot on it, that will work really, really nice. So I needed the clutch master to be as close to it as possible, so I can just kind of squeeze the lip behind there. I had to modify it slightly just to get rid of this would have hit that, but now I can use my dull stepper bit to try and make a hole big enough for this to slide through. And this is close enough to my brake bracket now that I can get Manuel to just plasma out a hole and the two other holes as well, and I can weld that bracket to that black bracket we just installed, and that will give it lots of strength so I can push on this a million times on the way home without pushing the firewall out or have it flexing or starting to get that pop can effect or clunk, clunk. So these firewalls are not that thick, and it was never meant to do that as the master was underneath the floor. So, and then originally my initial thought was I want the brake can or the reservoir on top, but it makes much more sense now to have this remote reservoir on it. We can put the remote anywhere, and that is not a concern at all on where that is. So we won't mount that until we're ready to bleed the clutch, because from then we'll know aesthetically where the nicest spot to put that is. So let's get some drilling done. Nice. Any more perfect. Sweetness. So this is my idea of a CAD drawing. It has a hole on there and everything. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Basically, this is going to go right on this side. And then I'm going to have a pedal. Keep in mind your steering column goes right here. We're going to do the same thing. Put the tab out there and try to get another one of these matching discs. And then basically just a piece that comes out like this and goes down and then over like a big C. And then the horseshoe, your clevis like this can just attach right to that C. Beautiful. Now we have the only knowing clutch brake assembly for a 55 apparently. I called like 4 different people and asked if they knew of anybody that had it, companies. Nobody said they had it, so then you just make your own. Okay, so clutch and brake is figured out. I made sure that I had all the proper fittings to connect my banjo, or I think it is an AND fitting with the line to my release bearing. So I know I can make that work, but we're not, nothing's bolted down permanently yet, and we don't have a clutch yet. So we're gonna go on to steering next. A few more things to make sure that nothing interferes with each other before we bolt everything down solid for the last time. Here we go. All right, so steering and brakes is one of those things I don't want to mess around with. So we don't know the history on this steering gear, but he was smart enough to at least cover up the holes. But that being said, it's a used motor and we got a long way to go. So rather than fire it up and realize it's broken afterwards, Borgeson supplied us with a brand new steering box. Now that's their quick ratio, so it's less input for output, and that makes for a much nicer driving experience. I got them on the GTO and I love it. They also rebuilt the one for the C10, so even though they didn't make parts for it, or that's not a regular thing, I shipped them the steering motor and they shipped it back all completely rebuilt. So really happy with them. We're going to throw that on, line it up with the steering column, make sure we avoid our exhaust, and then we are golden. So we are replacing our steering linkages, but I don't have them here this round. I'll just take it off the steering box. We're doing this to make sure that the new steering box isn't in any way different than the other, because we have clearance issues between the alternator and the pitman arm there. So we also want to make sure that the pitman arm is the right one for our steering box, because we could have different splines or something else and then we'd have to order that. So basically this round we're test fitting everything, trying to make sure we have all the pieces that we need, and it's fine to plunk an engine in there and call it installed, but all the finicky work takes forever, and when you run short on parts, that means that the project's not moving. So this is a lot of test fitting, and then hopefully we have time to take everything apart again and bolt it together properly, and then do all the finishing touches the next round when we come down. So we got like a week and a half of solid work here to do yet. Oh boy. Look at that beautiful goodness. Oh.
brought you the black paint for the steering. Ah, so much. I can't paint it already.
You'll get your chance, man. You'll get your chance.
Can I paint the bolts or something, maybe?
I forget what these are called, but I definitely don't have that screwdriver, but I do have a pair of Nina Rocks. Of course that one. Oh, look at that. Nice. Oh, that's a big hole.
Oh.
Shoot. I wonder why they do that. I'm gonna weld that shut. Got a lot of welding to do. Okay. Okay, so I assembled this last night. It's very, very straightforward. Put your handles in, put your steering wheel on, and this should tighten everything up real nice. We'll take the steering wheel back off again and fit the shaft, and then see if we can turn the wheels. I'm wondering where this should go. This is just a holder. So you can angle it however you want, but your height is kind of important. You can't really change that. So I think what we need to do is figure out seat height and where we want the steering wheel to end up before we make that decision. So let's bolt this on there and then see where I want it. Being a tall guy, I think I want it as far away from me as possible. I should have put the steering wheel back on again. I can use my brake pedal to figure out where my seat's gonna go, and then I can use the seat to figure out where my steering wheel's gotta go. So we've got this mount to mount the top of the steering column, and then we've got this ball and socket that goes in the bottom of the steering column, and that'll support that there. So that'll clamp it tight, and I can put it wherever I want. And then when I figure out where it's gonna go, I can weld this shut. We're gonna try and keep as much noise and fumes and stuff out of the cabin as we can. So we'll tighten this back up again, snug, so we can spin it around, and then Andy will be done by then. But I have a feeling we need to raise the seats up quite a bit.
Got it.
Perfect timing. You can do the honor of putting it in.
All right.
Don't get it dirty or scratch it or rip it.
Okay, how about two-man it?
That sounds like a plan. John, you gotta put the cover on the side.
I thought we were mocking it up.
So definitely higher, and I'm definitely going all the way back.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to go that far back, does it?
Kicking my knee. Oh man,
that looks perfect length, eh? Like if it was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then the steering wheel can go out nice and far, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got some, trying to find some 4x4s or something to put that on. Let's see what we got.
Are you just gonna put tube stealers, C-channel or whatever?
Yeah, I gotta build a little something. That's much better.
Yeah. That does. It looks.
Does that look appropriate?
It does, yeah. Does that tilt it all on the seat or no? Oh, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, so I could come in. Wait, let me see if it works.
Yep.
Why do I have to be so tall? I'll be alright. I think, you want to grab the steering wheel?
Now this has no clock spring stuff in it or anything, or it does?
Yeah, steering, a horn and everything.
So that thing can't swing around. Right, you know the wires break.
No, I can, yeah.
It'll be able to go full.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come to an end at some point.
No, I don't think so.
Want me to hold the bottom of that?
Yeah. We need to go up as high as possible. Sure.
I'm not a dentist, I can't.
How far does that end up? Is that too low? See, I would like it right there.
So even then, I don't know how you're gonna. Like, I think we gotta come up with the whole. Like, I think it's gotta come up.
Yeah?
Like, either that or it's gotta get tilted back. Oh man, this feels good. Hey?
Yeah, they're comfy seats.
Yeah.
Where do you like it? We might have to go really up with that.
Let me pull it.
Okay, so we can't change the brake pedal other than moving it closer and farther away from the firewall. Once we know where our feet are, we can figure out where we want to sit, height-wise and distance-wise. Basically, it being a regular cab, we need to have the seat all the way back and high enough so that short people can look over the steering wheel and low enough that the tall people don't hit their heads. Once we have that figured out, we can place the steering wheel and the steering column. But we don't want the steering column to interfere with the exhaust, so we need to fit the exhaust manifold on there. Unfortunately, we can't do that as it is, so we're gonna take the cab and tilt it up so we can get the exhaust manifold in place. Then with the engine in place, the steering column in place, the exhaust in place, I'm gonna bend up the sheet metal to cover up the engine and the transmission again. And then once that is tacked in place and I know it's not gonna hit, we're gonna take the cab right back off again, stick it inside the shop. With the cab off, once all the welding is done, bolt the cab back down for the last time. Here we go.
Yeah. For something that's 70 years old, I think all that they did to hold in the glass, just a small dab of urethane up there, a little bit down there, and then just this bolt, little screw here, just kind of tightens it in, keeps it firm, and it works for 75 years. That one's perfectly fine. I think this one, the only reason why it broke, someone shot it with a pellet gun or something. May as well start with a clean surface. Likely this has never had WD-40 on it. If it did, it was before I was born. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, 75 years. If you invented this,
has that been closed since we got it? No.
I don't. Not sure. Oh, that's just how you roll. Maybe this is a California truck. If you got a, if you got a northern truck, it closes all the way. couldn't just a little bit of moisture get in there over 75 years and just make that into dust? I have no idea. I can't believe these are preserved like this. And this truck was probably made when like vehicle warranties brand new were still optional. When you're like, did you want the extended, did you want warranty with it?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I need one. What, you think I need one? Probably not, but if you want to pay an extra, whatever, it's up to you, $50. We'll warranty it.
Anyway.
Yeah. We'll warranty it for like...
I bet you 75 years from now, foreigners will still be working on this truck, driving it.
Yeah. I bet you will get infiltrated by the Northerners. Coming and taking our finest products. Yeah. Yeah, this is where they're supposed to stay and stay preserved. When you're priming up the gun here to get it to the end of the tube, it's kind of like giving water to my little baby. You want to give her a little sip. You know it's coming at any second. All of a sudden, boom, you splash your baby with water. Makes a mess. Luckily, I've installed these several times. The 55, yeah, I think I replaced. No, you know, actually, this is probably my first one. Don't exactly know why I'm so nervous, because Summit would have one here by the morning.
Yeah, that's about right.
Should have. I was obviously at like a quarter of a pound. Yeah, I think we got her. Sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna put on some tape to hold it.
Okay, this is actually the only part that I didn't get as far as I'd like. Really happy with the masters for the clutch and the brakes, but I was hoping to finish welding the firewall up. That didn't happen. I have about 3-4 hours to go, but we are running out of time. So this is actually our last day here, and we have to put the cab back on it again. So Andy's put the glass in, so now it's not gonna get that wet inside. We can still keep it outside. I got a few more trim pieces to weld in when I come back on the next chance, but the first thing we're gonna do when we get here is pull the cab back off again anyway, so we can access the engine and do all the little bits that we have to do yet. So, yeah, we're gonna put this cab back on again. It'll probably be dark by the time that happens, but really happy with the progress overall. It was a great work week, and there are a lot more videos coming up on this yet, so stay tuned to the channel. They'll be scattered between the C10 and the Bronco, but everything's kind of coming up at the same time, and I knew it would. So remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich, get out there, work on it, make some memories, make some friends, and you will not regret it. Even if the truck doesn't work at all, the memories that we've been making, the laughs, well worth it. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Here we go.